Welcome to another edition of Butler's Inventor Playground. Today we're going to take you through how to create the poles for your playground set. The main pole, the long pole, the short pole, and the monkey pole. We're going to use the skills that we learned previously, and we're going to be creating rectangles and then revolving around the y-axis. Okay, to start, our radius is going to be 2 for the rectangle, and the height of the rectangle is going to be 96. Now before we start our drawing, you want to make sure that you have this sheet open out of your packet, iPad next to you with the video playing, and Inventor open on your computer. Okay, so let's start. We're going to go up to File, and we're going to go down to New. And we're going to use standard.ipt. You can click on this once, and then click Create, or you can click to launch that new standard IPT. Okay, right underneath the orange file, we're going to go to the Start 2D Sketch icon, the drawing with the green plus mark. Click on that to start a new sketch, and we're going to create this drawing on the XY plane. Click to select that. We're also going to click Front in our World View Cube to zoom all. Okay, let's take a look at our drawing again. You should reference the sheet that's inside your packet. Our rectangle that we're going to create, remember we're going to revolve it around the y-axis. Our rectangle we're going to create is 2 inches wide by 96 inches tall. Let's go back to our part. Select our rectangle tool from the Create section in our ribbon bar. We're going to start at our origin. Remember, when you get to your origin, make sure you have a green dot. Hold your mouse steady, click, let go of the mouse button, and stretch out a rectangle to the upper right hand quadrant. Okay, our horizontal dimension that we're going to type in is 2. Then you're going to press the Tab key on the keyboard. The next dimension we're going to type in is 96. Press the Tab key on your keyboard. You can see my 2 and my 96 here. Once I have those numbers entered in, press Enter on the computer keyboard. Press the Escape key to let go of your rectangle tool, and we're going to click Front in our World View Cube to see what we have created. Okay, so we have a rectangle we created that is 2 inches wide by 96 inches tall. We're going to green check mark, Finish Sketch, and I'm going to go up to my World View Cube here, click on my Home button, so get everything into view. Going back to my part, our main pole is what we're working on, 2 inches by 96, and we're going to use our revolve to revolve the profile around the y-axis. Let's take a look at how to do that. Going up to our Create, instead right next to the Extrude, we're going to select our Revolve option from the ribbon bar. So let's click Revolve. It should automatically highlight and select your rectangle that you created. You can see that it's done because it's highlighted blue. If nothing is selected, you may have to click Profile and then click that shape that you drew. The next thing we need to do is select an axis to rotate around. So I'm going to click the next one where it says Select Axis, and I'm going to come over to the left hand side of the rectangle I drew, because this is the origin down here. This is my y-axis, so I'm going to click that, and it's going to spin it around the y-axis there. I'm going to select OK and show you what we should end up with. Okay, so now we have our pole. It was our 2 inches, and it swooped around in order to give us a 4-inch total diameter, and we're still 96 inches long. Okay, this part is done. We're going to go up to the top, orange file, go down to Save As. I'm going to make sure that this is in my H drive, first initial last name 000. If you don't see your H drive here, we're going to click on the pull down menu, and it should be the last one in the bottom of the list. First initial last name 000. Yours is going to look like this. We're going to give the file a name because part 4 is not a very good name for this. We're going to take and call this Main Pole. Okay, so we have it titled Main Pole. We're in our H drive, and we're going to click Save. Okay, excellent. Now this is saved. You can tell at the top that it says main pole at the top. We know it's saved. We're going to take and bottom X out of this drawing. Then let's take a look at our next one, our long pole. Okay, it's going to be created the same way, where we're going to create a rectangle that is 2 inches wide by 123 inches tall, and then we're going to revolve it around the y-axis. Okay, I'm going to start moving a little faster. Remember, you can always pause, rewind, fast forward to a spot where you left off if I'm going too fast or you had to restart because class ended. Okay, so let's start our long pole. We're going to go File, New, Standard IPT. We're going to use our 2D sketch, the drawing with the green plus mark. And we're going to select our XY plane. Click Front in your World View Cube to zoom all. And we're going to get our rectangle tool again. Now, before we start our drawing, our horizontal dimension we're going to type in for this rectangle is 2 because it's a radius, and when we revolve it around it'll end up being 4-inch diameter. So the radius is 2, and our height is going to be 123 inches. Let's go back to our drawing. So I'm going to get my rectangle tool. I'm going to start at my green dot origin, click, stretch out a rectangle. Okay, now I'm going to take my hand off the mouse and I'm going to type 2 for my horizontal dimension. Press the tab key on your keyboard and 123 inches. Press enter on the keyboard. Click Front in your World View Cube, and you can see I still have my rectangle tool here on my mouse, so I'm going to press the escape key to let go of that. And just to confirm, we have our 2-inch dimension at the top, 123-inch dimension for our height or our length. That looks great. It matches our drawing. Green check mark, finish sketch. Let's go to our home view by our World View Cube so that we can see what we're working on here. Once again, we're going to revolve this part, or this rectangle, so we're going to click our Revolve tool. It should automatically select your drawing. You can see that it is selected because it's highlighted blue. If it doesn't automatically do that, you need to click your drawing inside the rectangle here. And the next thing we need to do is select our axis. Once again, we're going to choose our y-axis, which is the long side of this rectangle, going vertically. And you can see that it revolves it around. If you take a look, I have my 2-inch radius, and when it sweeps it around with that revolve, it ends up being double that, which is going to be a 4-inch diameter. Okay, I'm going to go home again. I can also see that I'm at 123 inches long. Click OK. Let's go up to the top, orange file. That long pole is complete, so let's save it by going to Save As. Make sure you're once again in your H drive, first initial last name 000. If this does not automatically pop up for you, click on the pull down menu. You're going to go down to your H drive. It should be the last one that's in the list. Part number 5 is not a good name for this. If you take a look at our drawing, this is called the long pole. So we're going to change that file name to long pole, make sure we're in our H drive, and click Save. I'm going to bottom X out of this part. And now we're on to the short pole. Okay, this has a radius of 2, length of 27 inches, and it's going to be called the short pole. So let's get started on creating that part. We're going to go up to the orange file in the top left hand corner, select New, Standard IPT, click Create. 2D sketch, the drawing with the green plus mark on our XY plane. Click Front in our World View Cube. Once again, we're going to choose our rectangle tool, and we're going to start at our origin. Once you get your green dot, click, let go of the mouse click, and stretch out a rectangle. Our radius for our horizontal dimension is 2. Press the tab key on the keyboard. The length of this rectangle is going to be 27. Press enter on the keyboard. Click Front to see what we've created. So we have a part that's 2 inches by 27. Green check mark to finish sketch. By your World View Cube, click Home to see what we're working with, and we're going to revolve once again. We're going to revolve, select your y-axis, and you can see that that part spun around to give us that 4-inch diameter we're looking for, and it's 27 inches long. Click OK. Now let's save this part. We're going to go up to the orange file, go down to Save As, ensure that we're in our H drive, first initial last name 000, and part 6 is not a good name for this, so we're going to highlight that and we're going to change it to Short Pole. Once we have it titled Short Pole, it's in our H drive, click Save, and now we're on to our final part. Our final part that we're working with is our monkey pole. This is for our monkey bars and monkey ladder. Okay, so the monkey pole, it has a 1-inch radius and it's 36 inches long. Okay, so let's start by creating this part. Go to Orange File, in the top left hand corner, down to New, and then we're going to choose Standard IPT, 2D Sketch, the drawing with the green plus mark, and we're going to select that for our XY plane. Front in your World View Cube, click your rectangle tool, start at your origin when you get your green dot, stretch out your rectangle. Now remember, this one had a radius of 1, so we're going to take, for our horizontal dimension at the top, we're going to type 1, press the Tab key, and then the length of this rectangle is 36 inches. Press Enter on the keyboard. Click Front in your World View Cube. You can see we have 1 inch by 36. Green check mark, finish sketch, and now we're going to revolve this around the y-axis again. So we're going to select our revolve tool. My shape highlights blue so I know it's been selected, and then I'm going to select my y-axis. Revolves it around our y-axis, click OK. We have this part created, so now we're going to go up to the orange file, down to Save As, make sure we're in our H drive, and we're going to change that file name to Monkey Pole. Once we have it in our H drive and a name changed, click Save. Great job. You created the 4 poles that we need for our Inventor playground. We'll see you next time for our next installment, the crayon pole.